Welcome to Chit with T. I'm your host, Miss T. Hope all is well. Let's get right into the commentary. So today I just wanted to talk about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. And they seem to be in the news right now. So we're going to talk about it. Just before we get into the actual article and what's going on with these two, let's give you a little bit of a backstory so you know who they are and where we are. Okay? So, as most people know, Angelina Jolie is an American actress, a filmmaker, and humanitarian. She has received several accolades. There are so many I can't even name them all. She has been named Hollywood's highest paid actress multiple times. Same thing for Brad Pitt. He's an American actor and filmmaker, film producer. He as well has received several accolades, right? And I choose not to name them all. So they met around 2003 and they wed in 2014. And then Jolie filed for divorce in 2016. So right now, if we fast forward, or we talk about back then why she filed. Let's go right. So she filed right there in 2016, right? And let's go into probably more than likely the reason why. And that's what this article is about. Okay. And the name of the article is called Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt's alleged 2016 airplane incident detailed in FBI report. This came from E! News. It was written by Keisha Ford on August 18th. Let's get into it. In an FBI report obtained by E! News, Angelina Jolie detailed an alleged verbal and physical assault from her husband Brad Pitt while the pair was aboard a plane in 2016. Wow. An FBI report includes details of Angelina Jolie's account for alleged incident between the actress and Brad Pitt while the pair were on board a private plane with their children. Wow. So per NBC News, a recently sealed Freedom of Information Act lawsuit filed against the FBI listed an unidentified person listed as Jane Doe as seeking the release of the documents. Wonder who Jane Doe is, y'all. Right, so the original filing, viewed by the outlet in March, described the plaintiff as a woman and detailed that her then husband and their children, who were all minors at the time, were traveling via private aircraft, during which the husband allegedly physically and verbally assaulted plaintiff and the children, who have experienced lasting physical and mental trauma as a result of the assault. Let's get into it some more. Now, in an FBI report obtained by E! News on August 17th, which was originally shared with both parties in 2017, right? Angelina said her then children, Brad, and they share kids, and I choose not to share their names. I believe they're actually, they're still young adults. I choose not to share their names, okay? But they at the time of this filing back in 2016, the point is they were minors, okay? According to the report, Jolie alleges that Pitt grabbed her by the head, shook her during the argument, and hit the ceiling of the plane approximately 4 times. Ooh, that's rough. The actress also claimed that there was tension between her and Pitt, alleging that his actions made her feel like a hostage and while they were on the plane. Well, I imagine they did, right? And let's move on. We're not going to read the whole article. You can definitely check it out in my sources, and you can read it in its entirety. So, in the document, Jolie said that when the plane landed, they were not stable. They were not able to deplane immediately since the actor allegedly told her, "You're not effing going anywhere. You're not getting off this effing plane. F you all. I'm effing leaving you." Now we know that was allegedly that was Brad, right? Okay, Brad clearly was mad. So immediately following this whole incident, and I'm not done telling you all the details about it, that's when she actually filed for separation from Brad. But so basically he asked her or demanded basically she go into the bathroom with him on the plane because he apparently had been drinking allegedly and kind of was, sound like he'd been sipping, right? And maybe something else allegedly, I don't know, but it sounds like it. he was pretty angry. So he takes her into the bathroom. The bathroom stall is marked private on the plane. And he does all these things, and they're fighting. And like she said, she hit her head. And he did a lot of things. He threw beer on her. All these things, right? And then, of course, one of her children walked up to find out if she was okay. Like, they're concerned about their mom. So they walk up and say, "Hey, Mom, are you okay?" And he responds, allegedly, that no, she's not okay. She's trying to break up the family. I believe I have that word for word. But basically, he does tell them she is not okay. I'm like, oh, okay, Brad, why would you tell the children that? But then again, remember, he's not quite together that day, okay? He definitely was, something was going on with Brad that day, okay? So then, she said one of the kids asked, after he responded, the child responded, "No, it's not her fault. It's your fault." And the child called him a punk. Like he called him, "You're a punk." And I'm like, now I'm not laughing. Now, it tickled me when I read this part. And not because this is a whole thing, violence is happening and all of that. I'm not condoning any of that behavior. But I was tickled because the child was like, no, you're the problem. And I just, kids are just so honest and pure, right? They tend to tell the truth, especially when things are going on. They're responding the way, they want to protect their mom. So anyway, that's kind of a lot of it. And then basically after the entire incident, like I said it before, she filed for separation in 2016, and I don't believe it even happened legally until like 2019, right? They actually were legally filed as separated. And they're still in court right now in 2022 battling. That's something. But also know that this incident that happened, apparently Pitt was never charged. He was never charged, which I thought was quite interesting, right? And then, so that's pretty much the gist of the article. And I have a couple questions myself about it, even though I read it, but I have a couple questions. So here's my commentary on this whole entire situation. Basically, it's crazy, and it does still go back to mental health. I know I always say it's mental health, but it goes back to mental health. And it also goes back to choices that we make that have a lot to do with choices, like who we pick, who we choose to be with. Now, I don't understand why this wasn't seen before, and maybe it was, so I'm not judging. But like they dated for years, right? They dated for a long time, and then they got married. And I'm sure the red flags was there, right? So I don't know. I only know what I've read. We only know what they tell us in social media. We really don't know what truly happened behind closed doors. We only know so much. But it doesn't sound like it was a good, healthy situation or healthy relationship at all. And so, but again, they stayed together for so long. So this is no blame on anyone, actually. This is just saying, hey, look at this. This is, ooh. But it still does go back to mental health, because clearly there's some healing that needs to happen in both parties. That's what it sounds like, right? And the biggest victims in this whole ordeal, and unfortunately, are the children, right? They're the ones that have to heal and go through all of these things and hear their parents fighting. Now they're in and out of court. And also, the thing about this particular couple is, and the kids here, is that they're on social media, all right? They're on social media. It's different for the normal Joe. These people they have to see their lives flashing before them all over social media. So they don't live just normal private lives. They're on public street all the time. So that's the other part of this. But not really much to say about it, except that I am happy. It sounds like they're on the road to healing. She did mention, I believe I heard in the streets or in an article somewhere, social media, that the kids were healing and, getting help, and they were healing. So, which I think is outstanding. That part is great. We want that for them. I hope that Brad and Angelina are both